Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 3G's Fitness Podcast, 3 generations of fitness. My name is Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
And I'm Coach Kyle.
And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the macro that no one talks about. The Michelle of the Destiny's Childs, the fats. Everyone knows their proteins. It's a Beyonce. Beyonce's the protein. Kelly Rowland is the carbs. Michelle's the fats.
Who's
Destiny's
Michelle?
Child.
I don't know Michelle's. Okay, anyways.
Exactly. You just proved my point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did.
You got your 3 macros that that everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
The most common macro I would probably say would be the protein that we all talk about. And we all talk about carbs. Fats, we talk about it, but we don't really get deep involved with it.
That's true.
And I feel like today we'll just go into a quick little dive in breaking down what kind of fats the body has and why they're important. To me, fats, I always tell clients, they're pretty much essential. You need it to regulate your body, to regulate your temperatures. So everyone needs fats in their bodies, but sometimes people look at it like if it's a bad thing.
Right.
And I think right now what we want to let our viewers and our listeners know that not all fats are bad.
Right.
Ain't that right, Michael?
Yeah, not all of it is. Not all fat is fat. Insulation, keeps you warm.
It does.
So there are different types of fats, As you guys know, there's white fat and brown fat, and they all have a little function of something different, right, Kyle?
Yeah.
Well, no. Oh, yeah. You brought in some colors.
Sure, for sure.
You brought in some colors.
All right, I got you.
Yeah. I didn't know there was colorful fat.
Yeah.
So I always thought fat was yellow, from
No.
So when you're breaking down fats as white and brown, we're not.
Like they say, what white fat is like baby fat.
Okay. Which like we said earlier is essential.
And keeps the baby warm. As they get older, it goes away. Okay. And then there's the common one, brown fat, which is what just about everybody has. Around the belly or around the body, because when you lose weight, you can't choose where you want to lose the weight, right?
Thank you for saying that.
Can't spot reduce.
You can't spot reduce. You can't pinpoint it.
Right. You can't say, well, I want to lose weight around the chin, and then you do exercises on the chin, you lose weight. Basically, fat is energy for what? Muscles, right? So as you're working out, you're burning fat, but it's not picking where. Okay, it's sometimes you lose it around the belly, sometimes you lose it in the face, sometimes you lose it in the neck. It's kind of like a rolling of the dice. Is that how you want to look at it?
Well, yeah, you could look at it like that. So I like how you said the white fat is the baby fat. It's pretty much your stored fat.
Right.
The brown fat, that's the fat that's gonna, like you mentioned earlier, your furnace. That's what's gonna burn. So when we're exercising, when we're moving around, the brown fat is what's helping us move and go. Just like carbs. Carbs are the same way, right? We got good carbs and bad carbs. Not all carbs are bad. The same thing. We're staying with the line of not all fats are bad. So when we're breaking this down, it's more of you want to have a lot more brown fat. And usually how you guys are having that is by having a high metabolism. So someone, and I'm going to point at him right now, is like as fit as our young buck over here, Kyle, I would probably say he stores a lot more brown fat than white fat. And we don't know that, but
he's still a little baby.
He
might still have a little bit.
Yeah, we all know he wants some more white in there.
You don't see this mustache right here?
What are you putting your peach fuzz?
My mustache? Come on now. But yeah, I'm pretty lean.
You're pretty lean.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to fat, like how do you break it down for your clients, or how would you kind of, get them more to help them understand?
That's a good question. So really, I didn't know much about that white and brown fat. I just know mainly your subcutaneous fat versus your visceral fat. That's what I learned. That's the most basic. Which subcutaneous is the fat underneath your skin, which doesn't really have, or it's not as dangerous as visceral fat. Visceral fat is the one that surrounds your organs. So as a higher risk of, just having more of those chronic issues like heart problems, all that stuff.
I've always said visceral fat in layman's terms is belly fat. pretty much.
Yeah,
the fat.
that's-
Yeah.
that's-
Underneath the abdomen, yeah.
I mean, see, you find something out from the old guy sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some old guy does have little info. Didn't know much about it, but I threw it over to you because I figured you'd research it.
Well, he reads it, but I mean, it's just like it's.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. You're right. You got some stuff I don't know about.
You're the one that.
But I never claimed to know everything.
Yeah, he never claimed.
Yeah, but I always thought you did. See,
Oh, I appreciate that, but no.
well, I always knew you were book smart, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But why do you guys feel that like when it comes to looking at a food diagram, where 40% of your intake should be carbs, 30% of the other intake should be protein, and the other remaining should be fats. Why do you guys always feel that fat is always the smallest
Well, it's not
macro?
It is, but if you look at the keto, let's look at the keto program. What are the three most important ones in the keto? It's protein, carbs, and fat, right? And they say
What?
they say that you eating a lot of protein with a lot of fat in it.
So keto, what? Okay. So you're.
I think you just completely skipped your question.
Yeah. So you're talking about the three macros in
Yeah.
general, okay? I'm talking about on a regular diet.
Okay, let me answer that
recommendation.
question. I think just because there's a stigma behind fat, the word fat. Anytime people think fat, it's like, oh, it's bad, it's negative, but they don't understand that there are good fats as well. And that,
And that's
like
where-
like we
and
talked
that's
about
what I'm
earlier,
saying.
it's
In
like
keto-
our body needs fat
Right.
to function. Like, for
Keto
example,
fat is one of the ingredients in their program, right?
No, fat's everywhere.
I don't know.
But
No, I'm just saying.
Keto emphasizes on having a higher fat content than over carbs.
yeah,
Yeah.
keto is a low carb diet.
So keto is more of a low carb diet. And what keto is mainly trying to do is it's trying to teach the body how to burn fat over carbs by introducing and giving your body more fats and minimizing carbs. So where I would always say, like I said, the I forgot what was the regular recommendation on your macros on a daily intake, but usually carbs is probably between 40 to 50%, protein's about 30%, and then the remaining 15 to 20% could be fats.
Right.
That's about roughly how they kind of distribute it. When you're talking about keto will take carbs and switch it with fat pretty much. So
Right.
your protein is still going to be there. Maybe it might be a little bit higher. Your fats is going to go a little bit higher and your carbs goes down. And I'm not a big
Right.
fan of that because I believe carbs are a little bit more risky in a way, because if you really take fats away from your diet, if you take carbs away from your diet and then you reintroduce it to the body again, I think the body blows up a lot quicker. You kind of get what I'm saying? So if you go on a no carb diet, you lose 10 pounds from no carbs. The minute you reintroduce carbs back into the body, you might gain 10 to maybe even 15 pounds back. Because I feel like the body's going to react to carbs a lot more than it reacts to fats.
Well, I had a client that did a keto program.
Yeah.
For 6 months, and we were talking about it, and he says, "Well, I went and got some roasted chicken, and it had all this fat in it, which is great." And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, because fat is like in a keto is like one of the main ingredients in their keto program." So it was like carbs, low carbs, protein, but fat was essentially important. And I at that time I didn't really get it, so I looked it up, and fat is actually one of the major things in the keto.
No, it is. And I think but the other thing is that if you know anybody that's done keto, did they keep it going and did the weight come off?
Well, the weight comes off until you stop.
Yeah, I think keto is one of the most hardest diets
Yes.
to sustain. It's not easy to find a balanced diet through keto.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
works for
not-
some people.
It's not.
It won't work for me though. I love my rice.
Well, exactly. So, but it also shows that it works.
Right.
So, like I said, going back to the main subject is that not all fats are bad. If you can learn how to maintain a balanced nutrition with a high fat, as your macro, you are going to lose weight. But at the end of the day, when it comes to losing the weight with all that, you still got to be on top of your calories. It's always going to be calories in.
Calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so we're talking about dietary fats now, right? Because we started with body fat first,
Right, body fat.
and there's a huge difference between those two.
Oh yeah.
Body
yeah.
fat
Oh, yeah,
versus
yeah,
dietary
yeah,
fats.
Yeah.
Because it's what.
Okay. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Because we kind of just like
I know.
yeah.
That's why, man, we got to give Michelle some more attention. And so Beyonce.
Yeah.
That's what But no, yeah. But that's the thing is that, and also when it comes to going back to your beige fat, your brown fat, your white fat, all of the good fats, you can't just look at a piece of meat and that might have, like how you said, that chicken might have 3 grams of fat. You can't just look at it and be like, oh, is that white or is that brown?
No, you can't do that.
No, you're gonna eat it. It's just fat. It's just how in shape of your body is right now. How good is your metabolism? And then that's where the body's gonna decide, okay, you just gave us fat. All right, let's put this in the white. But you move a lot, your metabolism's burning, most of it's gonna go to your brown. So if you have a high metabolism, which is caused through great exercise, a great diet, great nutrition, then you're most likely gonna be storing more brown fat over white fat.
Okay, so if you have a slow metabolism.
It's probably gonna go to the white fat.
Right.
And
Okay.
we don't want white fat.
No, you don't.
Because
But
white fat, now, did you find out if white fat is related to visceral fat?
excuse me.
Let
Let me see. White fat related to visceral fat.
Because it sounds like it would be.
slow metabolism.
Well, it would be, like I said. You're the one that brought up the colors. So I got mad because I was just like going to keep it but you're the one that likes to bring in colors for some strange reason.
Okay, there's 2 major types of white fat based on their location. One is a subcutaneous and one is visceral. So white fat can be in both of those, but the majority of your body fat will be under the subcutaneous white fat.
So is that where like the baby fat is pretty much going to be lying in? Michael?
What's that?
Is that where the baby fat's going to be?
Yeah. Well, I missed the question. Give me,
We're talking about white fat.
Okay.
And he asked me if I was able to.
That's actually the baby fat,
Okay.
And yeah, that's the baby fat. But that as the baby gets older starts to go away.
Mm-hmm.
But not all. Some I think it's heredity.
Well, you hear a lot of adults too. They still say, "I still got my baby weight on." I've heard adults say, "I still got my baby cheeks." Right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I said, where your white fat is at. We've all met someone that might be slim and slender, but maybe has those little chubby cheeks still, or something like that.
But literally, most of the babies are a little chubby.
Yeah, well, they
they're
need to
first
be
born.
because that's all they are.
Right. So as they get older,
No baby is going to be born all muscular and whatnot. Come on, bro.
Ronnie Cohen was maybe.
But look, like
Okay,
I think I'm good to wrap it up because like I said, fat. Once again, it is a macro that your body does need. Don't be afraid of it, but remember, when it comes to all these macros, it's all going to be dependent on the body that's consuming it. Like I said, you got three guys right here that work out, and I guarantee you, if Kyle eats chicken, the chicken's going to be distributed differently than if I were to eat it, and vice versa. But I'm pretty sure we would be a lot more similar in distribution than maybe someone who's sedentary who doesn't work out, right? So at the end of the day, you guys want to be on top of your macros. You want to make sure you don't overdo them. And at the same time, you always want to make sure you're being active and exercising regularly.
Yeah. And then I just want to clear the air, since that was a bit confusing, to kind of let you know what the actual function of white fat versus brown fat is. So white fat stores energy for calories for later use, acts as insulation, cushioning, and produces hormones like leptin and adiponectin. Brown fat burns energy to produce heat, thermogenesis, helps regulate body temperature, and increases overall metabolic rate when activated. Those are different functions.
Go.
So there you
But
go.
the most important thing is calories in.
Calories out, 100%. Yes, exactly.
There you go. So ladies,
That's true.
So like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Let us know what you think about fats. Don't be afraid of fats. Just make sure you don't overdo it with fats. I'm Coach Cisco.
Coach Michael.
Coach Kyle.
We'll catch you on the next episode.